Welcome back to WTLL 11 Your Day and happy Financial Freedom Day. And now what does that mean? Tammy Trenta of Family Financial is here to explain. And Tammy, you know a little bit about managing money. You were on The Apprentice.
Yes, I do.
So tell me a little bit about your background and your experience with money.
Well, interestingly enough, both of my parents went bankrupt in my 20s in my first year of college. And when I got out of school, I really thought long and hard as to what I wanted my career to be. And I stumbled upon the financial industry and really thought, I would love to be able to learn as much as I can about money. And, the benefit now is, 26 years later, I get to advocate for clients as well and help them with their money. So I love what I do.
We're celebrating Independence Day. We're celebrating freedom here this weekend. But, when we are saddled with this debt, it really weighs on us, doesn't it? So you have some tips this morning to help people achieve that financial freedom. And it starts with a strategy.
Exactly. Especially in a time like this where you have inflation, things are costing more money. So, the most important thing is to make sure you've got your essential needs met. In addition to that, you'll have things that you want. And then there's delayed gratification. And, there's a bucket where you really need to start paying yourself and earmark things for future goals. And I know in the beginning, it seems like it's not really working for you, especially in a time of market volatility, but really slow and steady wins the race, and you can accelerate your wealth if you just have some patience and stick to a plan.
You stick to that plan. Maybe meet with somebody to help you get that strategy and that plan together. That could help you keep motivated throughout this journey, right?
Absolutely. And I think starting at the end, you've got future goals that you might want to achieve. And, I love it when clients or investors are knowledgeable and savvy, but if they're not, get an advisor in your corner, make sure they're a fiduciary, and that way you can bounce your ideas off of someone else, because sometimes those rules of thumb are great, but everyone's financial situation is different. So, I'm a big proponent of avail yourself to financial advice for people who've been doing it for a long time.
And they can also be an advocate for you, because many times, yes, we are our best advocate, but, in certain arenas, maybe we need somebody else there along with us.
Absolutely. You just don't know what you don't know, and it's nice to have a sounding board.
What about succession, that journey to financial freedom? We need to be a little flexible, don't we?
Absolutely. I recommend reviewing a financial plan every year. And the way that I look at a financial plan, it's a plan B. Plan B is, this is if everything goes well. Plan A is if things go better than well. And then you have to build in some contingencies. You got to be flexible. And I think in my experience, the number one thing that can really set someone back is making a big financial mistake. And advisors are there to help prevent you from making those mistakes. So, I always like to look at, what is the upside and what is the downside of making a financial decision? And can you live with the downside? And so that usually gives people a gut check and helps them to just be aware of how emotions can affect financial decisions.
Yeah, speaking of emotions, I think they can be really high right now with the way things are going with the stock market. Do you have any advice for people who are looking at that daily? Maybe they're getting close to retirement and they're just getting real nervous.
Yes. I remember in 2008 when my mother was retiring and the market was crashing from the Great Recession. And the best advice I can give is, if you're going to go to Nordstrom and find a pair of shoes that are 30% off, this is when you should be buying stocks. This is when you want to buy in, because that will help accelerate your results. Most people get fearful of the market. They want to sell. And when you do that, you create unnecessary tax. And then you've got to be right twice. You've got to get out at the right time. You got to get in at the right time. So the best advice is just to stick with your plan. Don't deviate, and don't let market fluctuations change your strategy.
Good advice this morning, as things do seem to be pretty volatile on Wall Street. Tammy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Amanda.
Yep, take care.